Hey guys, welcome to today's presentation. I haven't done one of these in some time, so wanted to, usually on Fridays I have some time for this kind of stuff, so haven't done this in some time, just waiting for some people to trickle in here. But basically we're looking at biotech stocks today. It's something that I've been making some videos on in the clubhouse. We've been trading biotech stocks for some time, and so I'm gonna wait for some of you guys to come in, and then we're gonna get started. So let's just give it a few minutes, give some people some time to come in, and then we are going to get rolling on this. Basically, we've been focusing a lot on biotechnology stocks, not just this week as they start ramping. This is something that we've been doing in real time for the Clubhouse members ever since June 1st. On June 1st, we had a strong bullish reversal. I'm going to show you guys that in real time, how we found that, how we analyzed that. And this is not some sort of backslapping session, by the way. I just want people to like see what the process is, that you can actually, make money in the market having a process and nothing that's hectic. I don't want you guys to look at these screens the whole day. That's called day trading. That, I promise you, doesn't work over time. I don't know a single day trader that makes money over time as a sole standalone strategy. So anyway, let's give it a couple more minutes for people to come in, and then we will get started. So just bear with me. Need a few more people to come in, and then we are going to get rolling here. I just want you guys to see. By the way, if you guys could give us a thumbs up if you're in here, just kind of a little bit of engagement. Who in here is actually involved in biotechnology stocks as a sort of, as a sector? I think you can leave a comment in here somewhere. Just curious if anyone caught the move, just from a feedback perspective, would be interesting to see. But basically, a lot of this stuff that we focus on is nothing hectic. It's just a matter of finding opportunities through a sector and group rotation perspective. So, that's pretty much it. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can actually hear me and see me? I want to make sure I'm not just talking to myself. Or some sort of a comment or something. I think you can just leave like a thing. Yeah, cool. Sounds like we're good. All right, you know what? So let's just do this. Let me show you guys what's going on here. So I'm gonna flip the camera around. I think that should work. I haven't done this in a while. And again, we're just trying to figure out how this YouTube live stuff works. But I'll show you guys the charts here. So essentially, the way I look at the market is usually sort of what I call a bit of a top-down approach, in the sense that we look at the sector movements and those kind of things first. So let's have a look at what happened in biotech land. So let me just show you guys this very, very cleanly. When we look at biotechnology stocks, we have to have, as with everything, you have to have some sort of perspective. Usually it's a multi-time frame analysis that's required to make money in any markets, something that very few people actually do. And if you look at biotechnology stocks here through sort of a multi-year lens, this is now a weekly chart. Okay, we're gonna keep this very, very simple. You'll see two things. Number one, you see that biotechnology, largely speaking, remains in a huge uptrend over years. The sector was, I think, for 5 years running, was the strongest moving sector in the U.S. stock market. So, when that kind of stuff happens, when a chart like that goes vertical, it's going to retrace, and you can see it retraced about 40%, fell about 40%, and if you look at that from a retracement perspective, we take the lows from say 2009, and you can see we retraced not quite 50%, a little bit less. So in my eye, that's a pretty good move to the downside. But more importantly, once we had that move lower, we then needed to have some sort of consolidation phase, and that was really what basically has been the story for the past, let's call it, year and a half or so, and that's been this phase here. And there was a lot of very well-defined areas that investors could focus around. Again, most people probably overtraded this stuff. The reality was there was a few what I call bullish reversal, and ultimately we had a breakout. So let me show you guys what this looks like more closely here. But one more thing in the weekly chart, you can see the breakout. This is this week in IBB. Most likely that's not going to be a one-week wonder. I do think ultimately we will move higher, well into the mid 300s, maybe the high 300s, and retest 400 bucks. That's not an immediate term story. It's all about keeping perspective on the time frame that you're focusing on. But nonetheless, see what's happening. I mean, the move this week was very strong, past horizontal resistance, past the 100-week moving average. That's that blue line out of this box. You know, it was just very, very clear. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Now, if you look at the daily chart, what we see here is pretty much the same thing, but we're now seeing here is we're probably getting quite extended in the immediate term. A lot of this move had to do with sector rotation, folks having to rotate into stocks that they were under allocated to. Large cap tech stocks have kind of taken a back seat, like the Apples and so on and so on of the world. And so, you know, it was just a matter of seeing some money rotate into something like biotech, and that's exactly what happened. So what do I think could be next? Well, like I said, through a multi-week, multi-month lens, I do think we move back into the mid 300s. But again, it doesn't mean you have to chase them higher right here, right now. So if I look at the IBB right here, right now, I would argue we're probably getting quite stretched. It was a 10% move here over the past, you know, say 3 weeks, and that's pretty steep by, I would argue, by most accounts. So let's have a look at, you know, what that actually means and how did we trade it. Well, I have something called the B2 reversal indicator, which gives you these very clear bullish and bearish signals. And just so you see, I'm not making this up. You can see we had a buy signal take place on the 1st of June, right? And then we actually had another one here, which it didn't give you the signal, but it was the same rationale. So if you followed it, you would have gotten that trade. So basically, what we did is we actually bought some call spreads and some IBB, legged into it here on June 1st after we had a very strong bullish reversal again, which came off of the B2 reversal indicator. And then what we did is we bought more on the breakout on the 19th. Okay, so I guess that was earlier this week, was it? Whatever. Anyway, it doesn't. Well, today's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Yeah, Monday we bought it. Okay, on that because we had another bullish reversal B2 buy signal, and that buy signal on Monday also pushed the stock past diagonal resistance. You can see that the medium-term moving average, and more importantly than anything, we saw just money rotating into biotech. That was what was very clearly visible, and as money was being allocated to other parts of the market, through conversations I have with my hedge fund colleagues and other institutional investors and smart money guys, you know, that was very apparent that there was money flowing into that. You couple that with tight technicals, a B2 reversal indicator, buy signal, 2 of them in a row, and we've had a huge move. My portfolio, the ones I look over, were up like 4% at the beginning of the week for the year, and we're now up more like closer to 8% just because of this move alone. Which was a big move. We bought not just IBB, we were also long Amgen, among a few other things. We bought both stock and call options, call spreads to be specific, and we started legging out of it a little bit 2 days ago. So we started taking partial profits. We took 1/5 profits on Wednesday, took another 1/5 profit yesterday. So we're now long about 3/5 of the original position. And this morning we're getting a bit of a pullback. So, you know, it really all depends on your time frame. But for me, you know, from a textbook perspective, what could happen here? What could happen here is that we could certainly see a retest lower. Hey Chan, that sounds good, man. Let us know if you want to come on board. But it's certainly possible we see a retest of these lows. You can never, you know, maybe if next week if we get closer to a healthcare vote, then you know, maybe we see a sell the news event. But you know, it's about time frames. So we've taken profits 2/5 of the stuff we should. This is the kind of stuff I do real time with Clubhouse members, and you know, now essentially we're waiting. We've taken some money off the table. We've made good, really actually amazingly good money this week. And again, I'm not telling you guys to show off. I'm showing you guys because I want you to learn the process, because you can make money in the stock market. The problem with the education level out there, for most people trying to teach this stuff, most people who teach this stuff out there, they have no experience, and they're not bad people for it, but they don't really have any experience, right? So you can't possibly teach something if you don't have no experience. Additionally, people think trading and investing is something like you just learn in a week. Well, if you want to learn how to play golf, if I gave you a golf club right now and I sent you on the driving range, do you think you'd be able to compete with, you know, the best golfers in the world within a week? Of course not, right? But somehow people think they can do that with trading and investing. There's a process involved. There's no magic bullet, but there's a process, and that's why we have the Clubhouse membership. That's why we have some tools. It's all very straightforward, but you gotta have a process. Most people do not have a process, and that's why they don't make money. So if we, now let me just flip back to this. So you can see this was not just a random chart that we chased. This was something that was in the making since June 1st. Okay, we watched this, we started legging into the trade, and ultimately this week we had a very, very big breakout. Okay, now again, just to be clear, I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back. I'm trying to show you that there's a process involved, and if you saw this process, which really started by having a close eye on the sectors of, in this case, the S&P 500. So let me show you guys what the healthcare sector did. This is something we've been talking about. I've been sharing with clients and subscribers for I don't know, at least a couple months at this point. We were looking for a potential breakout, and if you look at the healthcare space, which biotech belongs to, this is the move that happened. We saw that breakout take place a few weeks ago. Okay, and so the move this week is just a continuation of that move, right? So it starts on the sector level. It's not just randomly picking a stock that comes up on a scanner. There's a process involved. So I'd like to open it up for questions now at this point. If you guys have questions on this process, if you're looking for some sort of rationale to do something, I'm here to help you. Like I'm really actually care. I want you guys to stop losing money in the stock market. I'm not saying you're losing, by the way, you specifically watching, but most people are losing money in the stock market, and there's really no reason for it. Most of the time people lose money because they have no patience and a lack of process. But making money in the market, takes time. So this breakout, I know you probably can't see it now at this point with the camera in reverse, but this breakout here in healthcare was the process was in a. It took pretty much like a whole quarter and a half, just like several months to start happening, right? So when it finally happened, we had a jump on it, but we were aware of it, and there was a game plan involved. It's the process. So you could have day traded the hell out of this stuff and maybe made money. Most likely would have lost money over the past couple of months, or you could have been patient and waited for the breakout to happen, or at least until that bullish reversal that we had here on. That took place on the 1st of June that I just told you that we went in IBB, and you would have made now at least 10% on a breakout. You can't make that kind of money if you're hectically looking at the market the whole day. So this is a much more sane approach. Most people have another occupation or a job. So that's it, guys. That's kind of all I wanted to go through. If you have any questions, again, I'm happy to entertain some more questions. But Chan, that's probably a discussion that we have to have offline. That's a pretty lengthy. Chan was asking what should be included in a trading journal. A lot of stuff. It's not like it's complicated, but that's not really a question I can answer this quickly. But essentially, the trading journal isn't that important. To me, what's more important is to have a process. Okay, most people just randomly get up in the morning and they hear of a stock and they watch the news or something and they want to do something, but there's no process involved, no rationale, and that's why people lose money. Okay, and again, we're not day trading. I don't think you can make money over time day trading. I've done this for 20 years. I've worked at places like JP Morgan and a lot of other places like that, and I promise you, there's not a single person that I know that is making a lot of money day trading. Okay, you can't do that. You got to be an active investor, looking at stuff, looking for opportunities, and ultimately stuff will happen. So this stuff is for research. Yes, of course, now I'm looking at the market, but for the most part, you don't want to spend a whole lot of time in front of this stuff. You want to do research, you want to follow the market, and a lot of the execution you can do on your phone. But I'm recording this on the phone right now, so I can't show you. But that's really it. It's really not that hard. So it's about having a process. Anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful weekend, and if you have any questions, please leave some comments down below. If you're interested in the BT reversal indicator, FYI, it is available for Thinkorswim, for TradeStation, and for NinjaTrader. Hope this was helpful, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.